Hello everyone and welcome to Grip Lock Foundation Disc Golf's normally weekly podcast, but for USDGC week, this is our first day of round recaps and prepping you for the coverage that's going to be happening today. So we're going to be talking about the rounds that happened yesterday, round one of the USDGC, breaking down what you can expect today, and then also talk about our electric moment of the day. Because we were all out on the course and different things happened, and it gives us a little chance to...
Electricity was flying out there.
Yeah, electricity was flowing. You know, transformer box was blown. We forgot to talk about that. That was yesterday. But anyways, let's just first off, let's take a look at kind of where the standings are sitting at. Let's throw it over to the course, and we'll hear how things shook up round one. All right, day one has officially come to a close out here at the United States Disc Golf Championship and Throw Pink Women's Disc Golf Championship. Fortunately, the weather was able to hold off. It does not look like it's going to do the same the rest of the week, but we'll have to see if that plays in. As the day went on, the wind was definitely a factor, but this morning when the women were teeing off, it wasn't a factor, and Paige Pierce was able to capitalize. She turned in a 7 under par to join Valerie Mandujano and Heather Young as the only other people under par in the entire field. So Paige has a 5-stroke lead on both of them, and then Sarah Hokum staying at even par, rounding out the lead card. One other surprising finish, Katrina Allen. I think Trevor and I both had her in our top 3. She's currently sitting at 5 over par. She might be able to make a little bit of a comeback, but it's going to be tough to get back into the mix of things after a slow start like round one. On the men's side for the USDGC, we had both Nate Sexton and Terry Roethlisberger being able to turn in 10 under pars, followed closely by Greg Barsby sitting at 9 under, and then rounding it out, we had Joel Freeman sitting at 8 under par. A few other notable names, Johnny McRae and Barry Schultz, were both able to turn in 7 under pars to put themselves in the mix after day one. We're definitely going to have to be keeping a close eye on the weather out here. There was an overcast. It was near perfect conditions all day today. As the day went on, the wind did pick up a little bit for some of the guys in the later round. I think that's why we didn't see some of the bigger names make that push. That's definitely something to keep an eye out for tomorrow. Earlier on the Instagram story, I did say I expected 11 or 12 to be the hot today. 10 was able to hold on. If tomorrow's conditions are similar to today, we'll see if someone's able to push that 11 or 12, but if the rain pushes in, 10 might be the hottest that we see all weekend long. Let's throw it back into the Prize Picks breakdown. All right, let's get right into the Prize Picks breakdown. Don't forget, first off, thanks again to Prize Picks for being a sponsor, ongoing supporter of the show. Don't forget to head over to prizepicks.com, use code GRIP to get 100% match on up to your first $100 deposit at prizepicks.com. Prize Picks is the first to offer daily fantasy disc golf. It allows you to pick 2 to 5 players on an over and under on their projections, and you can win up to 10x on any entry. For USDGC week, if you pick alongside Trevor or myself and it hits, you'll get a 25% bonus on the payouts. That basically means if you put $100 in, you'll be getting $125, or if you win $100, you'll be getting $125 out instead, just for playing alongside of us. Now, with that being said, you might have done that yesterday, and you might be very mad at us because it did not go well. No. I had the Yuli over hit, the Sexton under hit, and Trevor and I both had the Drew Gibson under. We were positive it was locked, but there's a freaking mix-up with the UDisc scoring.
I got beef with the UDisc guy.
And after hole 18, it just randomly, he's at the 5 under. The under's hit. We're golden. And then poof, it's gone.
Poof.
Changes to 3 under. The under didn't hit. I think I had let me actually look at what my picks were, because it's depressing. I had the Calvin Heimberg under 60. He ended up shooting a 69 out there, which is 3 over par. I had the Nico LaCastro under 62.5. He shot 64. And then the Drew Gibson heartbreak special with the 63. And Nico, also UDisc, Nico scored an update after hole 6. So I just had to be just surprised. So I had the Yuli over, the Sexton under. Those both hit. Which ones hit for you? I mean, they didn't really hit because it wasn't good enough.
Yeah, no, I also had the Sexton under. That was
our locked in.
Yeah, that one just seemed like it was going to happen for sure. And then I also had Brody under.
Oh, okay, nice.
So I was pretty proud of that. But I had a few holes into the day, I was loving my Coling under pick, and then he imploded.
Well, one thing we forgot to mention, I should have brought it up when you mentioned him yesterday, is he is playing with basically a brand new bag.
This is true.
His bag was stolen.
But a Wraith is a Wraith and a Destroyer is a Destroyer.
But a super beat in Wraith is hard to find.
He imploded.
He did not play well.
And in any case,
I can't say he didn't play well. Where did he actually end up?
He's like +2.
Okay, yeah, so he didn't play well.
He didn't play well.
Yeah, 2 over. He did not play well. Austin Hannum, ace hole 1. Didn't hear about that. Wow.
That's interesting.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's right below Jeremy Colin on the scorecard.
That is real interesting.
Did not hear that once.
What time did they tee off today?
I have no idea.
Who knows?
I mean, he's 2 over par, so.
I didn't see his card once today. And I also missed on the Gibson.
So we both missed Gibson.
Right, and then
Drew.
My other miss was Girthy. Shout out to Garrett Girthy for proving me wrong because, I wasn't confident in him, and he played well. So, you know what? Shout out Double G for that, I guess. Good job.
There you go.
You played well, but it didn't help me.
Going into today's round, I'm still feeling the Nate Sexton under. They have him set at 61, which is 5 under par. I feel like that's a cakewalk for him out here. Another one that I'm also extremely confident in is the Paige Pierce under. I watched her some today. She shot 7 under today. I watched her some, and I know she didn't throw OB, but the holes that I watched her, she was not capitalizing.
Yeah.
She just didn't. She didn't look like she was playing great, which makes me feel like her line is at 65.5, which means she has to shoot a 65, which is 3 under par for the under to hit. Mm-hmm. She shot 7 under today, and I feel like there was a lot of things that she could have done better. So again, that's my second one that I'm very confident in. And then I just need one of the other two to hit for me. So I'm once again rolling with the Ulibarri over 62. He seemed like he had a solid round today, and it still hit the over at 62. They set the line the exact same spot. I'm taking it again. He shot a 63 today. I just feel like this course, that's the range Yuli's going to shoot in. It's like 62, 63, 64 range.
Dang.
I don't see him getting hot out here, and so I'm taking the over yet again. And my final pick is Brody Smith under 64.5. He had a very hot start today, but then he had a very mediocre or bad back for him. And I feel like he probably won't have as good of a smart start tomorrow, but I feel like the rest of the round, if he just plays smart, getting to 2 under par, that's going to be pretty doable for him. I think bold prediction, I think today's round score-wise is the worst we see of Brody all week.
I agree with that.
So I'm feeling pretty confident in those 4, but I am doing a 4-person flex play. So I just got to get 3 of them to hit.
Yeah. I'm going with the five pick flex play. I agree with the Brody pick. I have him under 64.5. I'm not sure if that round we just saw was his lowest, just because that's, even though he did play a little bit sloppy on the back, he avoided a huge number. He only took 1 double, and his start was so ridiculously perfect. So I wouldn't put it past him to shoot another, just a couple under. But I do think if he does shoot worse than he did today, then it's probably due to the weather more than anything, probably the conditions. Because his game looked good out there. I've also got Nico LaCastro under 62.
I thought about that pick.
I think he'll have a bounce back round tomorrow, and also I'm going to be following his card closely, so it'll just be easier for me to track and to kind of root for. And then I had the Sexton under as well at 61. I'm still confident in him.
Yeah.
And then I got 2 FPO picks. I've got my over, which is Kona Panis. I've looking through. I have her over 73, which seems steep, but
it does seem steep.
She played decent today. Shot 71.
I almost took the Kona under.
Yeah, I feel like when I was looking through, I wanted to take. There was a couple players I wanted to take the over for, and she seemed like one of the players who's a little more inconsistent and capable of that big round. And she also took a few big numbers, which is what I'm kind of looking for, like who's going to be the player that takes big numbers out there. So that was, we'll see if it works out or not. Then I had Missy Gannon on the under 71.5.
I do like that pick a lot.
She shot, I believe, a 69 today, and she took a 6 on 17. So if she cleans that up, she's well under that. So I liked that pick.
I am pulling up her score right now to confirm that. Missy Gannon, yeah, she shot a 69 today with, like you just said, the 6 on hole 17. So I agree. I definitely consider the Missy Gannon under, but when I was looking at the Kona Panis, I was definitely looking at the under because
she just couldn't score well enough for me.
But Kona just didn't. She didn't really get anything going today.
Yeah,
and she still was under that 73 mark.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a tough pick, but you only need 3 of them to hit as well. So we're both looking for that. Again, if you want to play along with us, go over to prizepicks.com, use code GRIP, get 100% match on up to your first $100 for your first entry. And then if you play alongside either Trevor or myself and they do hit, fingers crossed they hit tomorrow.
Yes.
They do hit, then you get a 25% bonus as a thank you. So huge thanks to Prize Picks for being a sponsor of Grip Locked and support those who support disc golf. Let's jump into a new segment for this week. I don't know. This might be something we bring back because there's some days where there's just electric moments. There's just some electric days.
It's true.
I like it.
Our electric moment of the day. And, we're going to throw it over to Connor first. You've been a little quiet so far this podcast, so we're going to get your electric moment of the day today.
Well, there were a lot of electric moments. But I think that my funniest electric moment, which pretty much every electric moment is going to be funny for me, unless it just really moves me emotionally, but this one just was really funny, was this group of guys walked past me and Hunter while we were walking on the course. And this guy goes, "Oh, is that Hunter or Trevor? I can never tell. I always forget which one is which. But I know that's Connor with a K." And so that was a pretty big moment for me. And I thought it was really funny.
It made me feel really good how many people were recognizing you out there.
It's good. Growing the brand.
That's nice.
Like, this sounds weird. Maybe.
I don't think it's going to.
Okay, then maybe don't say it.
No, I'm just saying, like, sometimes I would feel weird, like people would come up and ask for Trevor and I's autograph or a picture or something at past events, and I'd like feel bad because like to me, you're just as much a part
because
of,
you're
like,
looking at me whenever you guys are in the videos.
Well, no, because like I know what's going on like at work and behind the scenes. It's just that like we're the two on the screen.
Gotcha.
So like it always feels like, well, that's like unfair. We're getting all this recognition when like Connor's the one doing it. You know what I'm saying? So today it like felt good that I don't know if I signed a disc that they didn't ask you to sign right after.
Yeah, it was a really good fit.
And we also
I really appreciated it.
Should we let him in on the inside?
What are you talking about?
I think we shouldn't.
Okay.
I think we shouldn't.
Well, that's annoying.
We're not talking about you, Trevor.
No.
We're not keeping you out of the loop.
If you if you are at the tournament, get Connor to sign a disc.
We'll just say that my signature has been consistent.
What are we talking about?
No, we'll just say it.
Okay.
So basically, one of our like favorite customers, Dan Lazinski, I believe it was, asked that he bought a bunch of 3 Bogey Road discs and wanted us each to sign one and told Connor to sign +1 next to his name. And at first we were like, why? But then we got deep and intrinsical with it, and we were like, whoa. Like Trevor and I are the Bogey Bros, and Connor's like,
I'm the +1.
Like +1. So that's like, he's on like on our shirts, like all the merch is the +1. Like that's how all 3 of us fit into the equation. Connor's our walking bogey. That sounds, never mind. Cut that one.
I like that.
So
I bring you guys down is what happens.
No,
you
but like
keep us humble.
There we go.
Oh,
there we go. You're our walking bogey in that like you keep us on our toes. You don't let us get going.
Ideas at this time of night, I just all need to be shot down.
Yeah.
No, but realistically, like the
what if we
+1.
made homemade guacamole?
I hate guacamole.
Whenever Hunter first gave it to me, he was like, he wants you to put a +1 next to your name. And I was like, oh, and I looked and I saw nobody else had a +1 next to their name. And I was like, why just my name? And I was like, I don't know. And so I did it, but then it felt good. I like the way it kind of looked cool, and so I did it on the rest of the disc. So there's some people
I'm gonna start
today.
adding 21 to my signature. Like
there's. I think I signed like a couple discs today, and I think 3 of them I did the +1, and then like 2 of them I forgot to.
Oh my god!
So those are rare signatures.
It's like a transition period. It's a transition period.
There we go. My electric moment of the day was getting to talk to the one and only Pete May.
That was a great
legendary.
moment.
If you're newer to disc golf, so my introduction to Pete May was years ago. He was the founder of College Disc Golf, which we'll get a chance to talk about College Disc Golf here a little bit later in the week. Actually, probably tomorrow's show will be our first mention of it when we start getting ready for the Dean's Cup to start up. But I believe he has multiple world titles across different divisions within disc golf. He also was a former professional ping pong player. I think he did a bunch of stuff with rodeo promotions.
He was a professional ping pong player for like 40 years.
Yeah. So this dude...
He's just a walking W.
Yeah. And he's just one of those
man.
people that like, he walks up to you and he like makes eye contact where you can like feel that he's like genuinely listening to what you're saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
and like he just makes you feel good being around. And so like we were just he first came up. I thought he was coming up because he recognized me from college disc golf. He recognized me because he listens to the show. And then when I mentioned I played college disc golf, then it just like led down this whole rabbit hole of just like reminiscing about college disc golf and the good old days of Old Glory and Hogback and the Hippodrome, which if you played college disc golf, you might remember all those things. If you didn't, that means nothing to you. But it was just, it made my day. I loved it. It was like it was probably a 30-minute conversation, Connor.
Yeah, it was a long conversation, but it was so intriguing.
Yeah, it was amazing. So that was my electric moment of the day. I saw a lot of cool things happen on the course, but I might go out of my way just to strike another conversation up.
I want to say like one phrase that he said to me. He said whenever he was on a Chinese rodeo show.
No, he was bringing. I wasn't a part of the conversation.
He brought like a rodeo, like a Western rodeo to China.
Yeah.
And so they did like something on TV for it. So he was on TV, and the like there's like translators and stuff because he doesn't speak Chinese. But he was basically asked like, how did you get a Western rodeo to China? And so he said, just off the top of his head, he came up with the phrase, "The hat, the horse, and the heart of a cowboy." And
I mean,
it was such
that
a good
tells you
phrase.
all you need to know. I mean, that alone, I
him.
got chills.
Yeah,
he's
inspirational,
incredible figure.
Maybe we should get him on the Nick and Matt show or something.
You'd be entertained. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
much.
that guy. Yeah. If you're at the tournament, if you're here at USDGC or if you're ever at Worlds and you see a guy, older man with a cowboy hat on,
that's him.
That's him. Go up, tell him that. Just start talking to him. Ask him a question.
You won't have to talk to him because he will come up and talk to you.
Yeah, just ask him a question or two about disc golf and college disc golf. And I will say this was an interesting hot take. He had a list of like his top players, like the guys if he had a company, the guys he would want. Number one on his list, Kevin Jones.
Oh my gosh!
He said the way he throws the disc. He
said mainly he's very marketable because he's very attractive.
That was another thing he said.
He said that he could sell Jaguars.
Yeah, he was saying like he could sell anything. And he was saying like the way he throws the disc, it's so interesting that like keeps you wanting more and keeps you coming back.
Yeah, well,
he was saying if he had Kevin Jones,
shot like one over.
He wasn't talking about performance, man.
Yeah, well,
he wasn't talking performance. He was saying that like he's a marketable person in disc golf. Yeah, I agree. Kevin Jones is a very marketable person. He
would not be
in disc
number
golf.
one on my list at all.
He was number one on the list. You know who wasn't on his list?
He would probably be my top 7.
You know who wasn't on his list?
Who?
Paul Macbeth.
No, Paul was on his list. He was just low. He wasn't on his top 3.
He wasn't in his top 3. We were guessing his top 3.
Who else was in his top 3? Now I'm just curious.
It was Kevin Jones, Eagle McMahon, and
Ricky
and Nico.
Nico's
number 4.
Nico's number 4.
My gosh.
That was my first guess. Was Nico?
Was it Ricky?
It was Ricky. It was Ricky.
Okay.
Wow.
He said the reason he didn't have Paul in his top 3 is because he's too serious.
Yeah,
the fans can't relate to him.
Mm-hmm. People like intensity, but not ugly. But not ugly as in like the way he looks, but ugly as in
tells
like
me
emotion.
He may be a little off based on the size of the gallery that continually follows Paul. I think the fans like Paul.
All I'm saying is that was my electric moment of the day.
But
I think he was specifically choosing those people based off of people that could be marketed outside of the disc golf world.
Yeah, he was saying
so
like
could reach
the
internationally in other things.
He was saying Paul's just too serious.
Yeah.
He's also the guy that is getting picked for others.
It's not my list.
No,
man.
you're right.
It's not
though.
my list.
I see what he's saying. He definitely picked 4 of the more interesting personalities. Well,
that's why when he
not
was
true though.
When he was pitching me the list, that's why I immediately said Nico, and he goes, "Whoa, Nico's 4." I was like, "Dang, who's the top 3?"
He's got interesting takes though.
You gotta have a
He's got
conversation.
fresh takes, is what he's got. Maybe he needs to bring some of that to this show.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna ask him for a different list tomorrow.
You ask, yeah.
I'm gonna start asking him for different lists.
Ask him
Pete's list might just be.
Oh, is that a new top?
That's a new segment. Pete's list. We just
Pete's
text him like once a week and ask him for a list.
That would be really funny.
He would totally be down for that.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh
So
my
you can
gosh.
see why this was my electric moment of the day. That was amazing.
Electric.
This is a great.
I've got my
Good job,
electric
Hunter.
moment of the day was a moment that I found that one of my dreams is going to be realized, and that is that Brody and Nico are going to be card mates tomorrow, which means that I'll be. Thank you.
Yeah, let's clap it up for
Thank
Trevor,
you.
but not too loud because Brody's asleep.
You guys
upstairs.
know. No, he doesn't need to sleep. You guys know that
that man needs to wake
I'm
up.
on the-
That's what he needs.
Yeah. I'm on the Nico fan hype train. I've been on it since day one. I don't really know why. He's kind of one of those. There's like certain people and figures in both movies, books, TV shows, and real life, like sports, where for some reason I latch onto them at a very young age, and then just like I look back and go, why did I start rooting for them? And Nico is one of those people, because when I was like 14, 15, I don't think I was like really thinking about what he was adding to the sport. I think I just for some reason was like, yeah, Nico. Maybe I thought his name was cool. But in any case,
he's got cool hair.
He's got cool hair. And so tomorrow I'll get to be.
He's got a fresh cut this week.
Oh, dude,
shoot.
Nico with
We
a
went
fresh.
back to the clean cut Nico.
Oh my gosh,
Nico with a fresh
What?
cut is a whole different Nico.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna get to see him very up close tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to that. My honorary mention. This is actually the electric moment of yesterday, and this is literally electric moment. Is when a squirrel allegedly exploded a transformer, and himself allegedly, and Hunter and I heard it all and saw it.
Yeah,
unfold.
we were doing like the Instagram story.
And that was electric in the sense that it was actually electricity.
Apparently, it caused some issues with the press conference. They were worried it might cause issues with the live stream.
That squirrel was a menace.
But we were just like
allegedly.
standing next to the. We were
That's
standing.
a rumor.
We were standing between hole 1 and 2's tee, and this isn't alleged because I was there.
No, we know it blew up.
It just out of nowhere we saw like a flash, and it sounded like just a loud crash.
It sounded like
And then a woman just appeared on hole 17. It sounds like a vision, but I don't know where she came from. She just popped her head around the corner on 17 and said, and like was looking. I thought she knocked something over that she wasn't supposed to like have knocked over. And so we all looked at her. I probably looked very judgmental. And she was like, "What was that?" And we're like, "I don't know." And then she said like, "I think an electrical box blew." And then like an hour later, I heard that it was like the transformer
we
box,
were
whatever
there.
blew.
Where were you? You know?
Where were you at the U?
Where was I? Was that whenever I was here?
You
still?
were here. Trevor and I
yeah.
went back to the course.
Mm.
You were sleeping, man.
It was incredibly
Oh, yeah.
electric, both
I was
literally
sleeping.
and.
So there you go.
I know.
We're going to keep that up because I think we were talking about it. If you're like
That's very fun.
immersed in a disc golf tournament, some things happen that you're just like, holy cow.
There's a whole lot of head scratchers and like.
Yeah, some
just
things happen. You're like,
flabbergasting
what?
Moments.
Some things happen and the person or thing, whatever it is, walks away and you're just sitting there like, what the frick just happened?
Disc golf is crazy, man.
It's amazing.
You go to one of these
People in
events.
disc golf are crazy.
Yeah, you go to one of these events and you're around there long enough. Just
I will say, I've been to USDGC many
crazy.
times. So has Connor, and both of us noticed today a few different things. This is actually a great transition day one recap. One, the number of spectators for a Wednesday was incredibly high.
Yeah.
It wasn't like there was an insane amount of spectators in general, but Wednesday's normally a chill day. You don't need a lot of crowd control. Maybe like 100, 200 people. There's a solid, 300, 400 people?
Something
all
like
over
that.
the place. Yeah, it was tough
Yeah,
to
total.
say. There's a
Total.
lot. There's a lot.
Because there was a few hundred following Paul's card alone.
Yeah.
And there was a decent gallery on the card that had like Shoestrick, Ulibarri. Who else was even on that card? Because that was a sick card. Shoestrick, Yuli. Was Jerem on that card?
I think. So.
Yeah, I think Big Jerem was on the card. Anyways, there was a few other sick cards that had a
Yes.
decent little gallery to them as well. So assuming the weather holds out, we might be in for a massive championship Saturday. The secondary thing, way more teenagers and like kids
Yeah.
out there watching disc golf this
Yeah.
week. I mean, I haven't really noticed it before of like what the gallery was, but it was a lot more of like 25 plus year old men and women.
Mm-hmm.
Today, it was a lot of teenage and like even early
Young
20
kids,
and
like
then
middle
young
schoolers.
kids, like 10-year-old. And they were like, they were loving it. They all had discs with tons of
Yeah.
players' signatures. You could tell they were like following the sport hardcore.
Yeah.
That is a good sign for disc golf.
Yeah.
You got to get the young kids super involved.
We've been kind of in an era for a while where like I would say a higher percent, like the majority of players got into disc golf like in their 20s or 30s.
Yeah, later in their life.
And like the next era of disc golf is going to be where a lot higher of that, maybe not the majority, but a lot higher percentage of those players are going to be like people that got into it as kids.
Yeah.
So you're going to
You're starting to see that on the pro scene a little bit now.
Right. Well, in the pro scenes, it's kind of always been like that. Like back in the day, like pretty much anybody who like started playing as like a 12-year-old or lower, like ended up being a pro someday.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's just not the case at all. Example A. So yeah, it's definitely getting like the younger audience is filtering in now.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look at the Throw Pink Women's Championship Round 1 recap. You already heard some of the scores as we talked through with the recap. But one thing that is, I think, pretty important to note here, I saw this on Twitter. I believe it was PDGA Stats that put this out. Paige Pierce was able to go OB free.
That's incredible.
Every other competitor in the FPO field, I believe, had at least 3 OB shots.
That's crazy.
So that alone kind of set her apart. If she's able to stay clean again tomorrow, it wouldn't surprise me to see a similar score. If she can go back-to-back scores and put herself 8 to 10 strokes clear of the field, it's over.
Paige is set. She set herself up in the first leg of the event to run away with it. I mean, we've seen some crazy collapses in FPO, and she's been one of the people that it's happened to. So, certainly not writing off the event yet. But if she kind of does what she did today, and goes up big tomorrow, then it could be over quick.
I will say this course, it's kind of interesting because Brody and I were talking about on the MPO side how distance is important but not crucial on the MPO side. FPO side, I almost feel like it is a little bit more crucial because what Connor and I sat and we watched a solid 3 or 4 FPO cards come through on hole 5. Hole 5 is a little bit shorter for the FPO, and the Mando's not in play. So they're playing from like 200 feet shorter. Mando's not in play. But what distance throwers were able to do, such as Paige, is we saw Paige able to go controlled mid-range off the tee to get herself far enough up that then she could go drive her second shot and push past the corner to where she never even thought about the water once. Yeah. And she was deep with the pin, almost looking back at it, and she threw a fierce upshot. She pulled it to like 60 feet, right? But it was a low pressure upshot because the only thing that was in danger is if she went too far past the basket,
which would have been difficult to do.
Yeah. Whereas we watched Heather Young, for instance, who's a player, great control, not a lot of distance. Her second throw, she was throwing a driver off the tee, so already lost control there, and then a secondary driver, and she was having to play close to the water to be able to attempt to go across in her third. I'm trying to look at her scorecard now. I believe she took a 5. I believe what happened was she threw a lefty hyzer tight to the corner and then laid up.
No, she threw it was a turnover backhand.
She's a lefty.
She's left. Wait,
you're thinking Katrina Allen.
I think Katrina Allen. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I was
Heather
the wrong
Young
person this whole time.
I was going to say, if she threw a turnover backhand, we're talking different holes.
Good. Yeah, I was very confused when he said
Heather
that.
Young threw her second shot close to the water, then a hyzer across to like 80 feet, then laid up.
Yes, I remember that.
But holes like that alone give players like Paige, like Valerie Mandujano, like Haley King a pretty big advantage simply because they can do a controllable, repeatable shot. With that being said, Heather Young's sitting in second place right now. So she is able to still have that control, but I think it'll be interesting to kind of see how that shakes up because I do think that for the FPO, distance matters a little bit more on this course than for the MPO.
Yeah.
If that
it's definitely an advantage.
Makes sense.
Yeah, there's not a lot of courses that they play FPO layout that it isn't at this point.
Yeah. Well, I just think it makes, like, Paige can go out and every single hole is gettable for Paige. Whereas a player like Heather Young, because since she's up top, there's only, she has to, like, hand pick her certain birdie. She almost has to play a more Nate Sexton style game.
It's
out here.
It's frustrating being one of the FPO players without the huge distance because you basically have to just stick to your game plan, be patient, and hope Paige gets greedy and digs her own grave. That's essentially all you can do.
Yeah, and I will also point out that Valerie Mandujano, she was able to put up a 2 under par, but she did triple bogey hole 17. So if you take away that triple bogey, she's sitting at 4 down, only 3 back.
Coming right in it.
With only 1 round down, I'm very confident that Valerie Mandujano is able to play a consistent game, and she might be able to shoot even with Paige, or maybe even gain a stroke or 2 on Paige tomorrow if a few of those breaks go a little bit of a different way. But overall, I think both Paige and Valerie's game were looking very strong, as was Heather Young, and Sarah Hokum was your pick to win. She started the event and through 5 was looking pretty dangerous, and as soon as I tweeted that she was looking dangerous and texted you about it, she bogeyed 6 and 7. So
yeah,
sorry, Sarah.
Walking jinx.
I really am, because I also, on the MPO side, we had Terry Roethlisberger come out hot, extremely hot. He got in the first 7 holes, which is the point that I tweeted about Terry Roethlisberger coming out hot, pars 8. So if Basically, what I'm saying is, if you've got a player that you want to end their hot streak, text me.
You should see if it works in the reverse tomorrow. Like if one of our guys
find someone that is having a rough start
Brody
and be
misses
like,
his first couple holes, just
rough
tweet
start.
me like, yeah, oof, not looking good.
Rough start.
I wish the best for Terry Roethlisberger.
No, you don't.
You want to bring up your beef with Terry?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
You want me to bring up your beef with Terry?
No, I just wanted to let it pass by.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it was
Terry
4 or 5
Roethlisberger
passes
said
ago,
something
man.
mean to me. I can't say that
You
because
can't say that. That sounds mean.
Just to be clear, I like Terry Roethlisberger. He seems like a nice guy. We were just in a situation where we were all playing around with Brody and we were all throwing putts. And I threw a putt and he laughed and he said, that looked awkward. And in that moment, he was dead to me.
That is tough look.
We were doing a step putt competition.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it was a floppy putt. I'll give him that.
yeah, Connor did his normal
my
step
first
putt
putt of the day. Everybody else has been playing disc golf all day. I just been behind a camera.
Yeah, Connor did his normal step putt, and I think Terry. It was just one of those situations where like we were all joking, so he felt like he could joke, but we didn't know him. So like
We
a
didn't know
sarcastic
Terry like that.
because like if I would have said it
Yeah.
to you,
In
it's just
reverse.
funny.
Yeah.
But when
He
someone
was
who,
just like, well, he's also like friends with Brody.
Yeah.
So he probably was
it was
just like
someone
being a part
outside of
it.
like the group of
Yeah.
all of us joking said,
Mhm.
well, that was awkward.
It was this man that I never met before in my life. I didn't even know it was Terry Roethlisberger. And I was just like, who is this guy talking to me right now? Telling me my putt is awkward. But I actually think that he's probably a nice guy. I actually don't have any problems with him. I just think it's funny to make it sound like he's dead to me.
Okay.
All right, well,
Ball's in your court, Terry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Okay.
what the heck was that?
that was just a moment between me and Terry.
Oh, okay. But we
intimate.
had, as we mentioned in the breakdown, we had Nate Sexton and Terry Roethlisberger both shooting bogey-free 10 under par. We also had Greg Barsby shooting a bogey-free 9 under par. Very impressive, though, Joel Freeman shooting 8 under par with a double bogey and a single bogey. So, other thing to mention, all of these players were able to get out early in the day. The wind did pick up for the later cards, the card that had basically the feature card and the what should have been the feature card of like Paul, Eagle, Thomas Gilbert. That card, when they were coming down the stretch, the wind was ripping. I think it'll definitely be interesting.
Ripping is an
no,
overstatement.
ripping was an overstatement.
It was steady.
It was a steady wind versus no wind in the morning, essentially. Very light wind in the morning.
Very light.
So that will be something to kind of keep in mind tomorrow. After one round at USDGC, basically no one's out of it, but I'm going to go ahead and declare Calvin Heimberg out of it.
Is that so? He's at
Poor
what?
guy.
He's at how many over?
He's 3 over par.
3 over. So 3 over par.
He's
is
13 strokes out of the lead.
That's like your out of it line.
Well,
13.
it depends on the
strokes out.
player. It depends on the player.
He'd have to gain.
Because I think there's some
5.
players who are 1 under par. Like Kevin Jones, I think I can declare out of it. I think I'm willing to do that.
Yeah.
9 strokes out for Kevin Jones.
So Kevin Jones finishes in
If
the
that
top
was
5.
Ricky-
I wouldn't say he's out.
Out of it win-wise.
Win-wise,
I would
what do
be
you,
very surprised.
what do you think about top 5?
I wouldn't.
I think he could get in the top 5.
I
What do you think about
throw-
top 3?
You know, that's pushing it.
What will you do
I think if
if he
you're-
gets top 3?
I'm just saying the player.
I'm all
the
about
whole
punishments
point
on
of
this
this
show.
segment
It is
was
tough to say. It is tough when the guys like the guy at the top is like Sexton, and you know that he's just not really.
That's what I'm saying.
gonna
Sexton
collapse.
is going to go better
might
than
not-
5 under pretty much every
He
round. I
might
think.
not shoot super low. Like you can catch him, but you're not gonna like. You can't expect him to just implode.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Like Ricky, 5 under, just as in it as when the tournament started.
Yeah.
Very
No,
much in it.
That's not really true.
Well, obviously it's
statistically.
not exactly true. He's 5 strokes back.
You said it, not me.
But, like,
I didn't say it.
Okay, but look at it this way. What is this bug doing over here?
Just chilling.
Did you get him?
I don't know. I think I just threw him on me.
That was not smart.
For Ricky to win a 3-round event by 5 strokes is not unheard of. That's essentially what he has to do.
That's all he's gotta do.
And
all you gotta do.
especially
That's
because
all.
he's tied
cakewalk.
with Eagle
Cakewalk.
and 1 back of Paul.
No, there's still plenty.
There's
of moving
still
and shaking.
so much golf to go down.
Yeah.
Here's a hot take I want to hear.
Okay.
Current lead card: Nate Sexton, Terry Roethlisberger, Greg Barsby, Joel Freeman.
Yeah.
What are your predictions on finishing place for each of those 4 players?
Well, I'll just put it like this. I think Sexton finishes within that lead card on top 4, and he's probably on the final lead card, and none of the other guys are. Barsby's close, but not.
Is Joel Freeman and Terry Roethlisberger in your top 10?
Neither.
Oh boy, wow.
It's a whirlwind.
It is.
out
It
there.
is absolutely.
Yeah, it's
Like
crazy.
you can say anything and it probably really won't sound crazy. Like
I definitely agree. Nate Sexton, final day lead card. I'd almost be surprised if he wasn't, but I would have been coming into the tournament. I would have been surprised if he wasn't. This is where Sexton golf was originated. Like Paul had his McBeast mode, Sexton had his Sexton golf, Ricky has his Raptor legs. Like everyone has their thing.
What do you?
This
have?
is bogeys. This is where Sexton golf started, basically, because this is like, and this is where Eagle has adapted Sexton golf at this tournament. This is like the third year in a row we've seen it. For instance, I watched Eagle on hole 10 today. It was like a decent wind. It wasn't like anything crazy. Paul went for the island, makes it. Eagle sticks and Kyle Klein, very far throwers. They could probably go fairway to the island on 10.
Yeah.
Both of them laid up left, just took their easy birdie because they're just playing their percentages, playing the smart shots. That's Sexton golf. Terry Roethlisberger, I would imagine this is about as good a round as he could ever put up out here. He's not going to start 7 for 7 again tomorrow, or today. Sorry. Is definitely going to be interesting to see where he shakes up. Greg Barsby, he's a player where he could be in contention. He could also be in finishing 20th.
Would not surprise me at all. Would not surprise me at all.
No. And then Joel Freeman, I think, is a similar player where he actually does this a lot, where he starts off really hot at tournaments, falls off kind of as the tournament goes. So I'm agreeing with you. I could see Sexton and Barsby in the top 10, and I think Terry, Roethlisberger, and Joel will end in the top 20.
Sure.
I think they'll be in the top 20.
Sure.
That's kind of the range I'll give them. Final storyline, got to talk about here. Barry Schultz and Johnny McRae, as of right now, are in this tournament.
The old guys.
With a shot after round one. They're both going to be on chase card.
Barry Schultz.
I love that.
So this like storyline.
Fly on, Barry.
This storyline
on,
happens
Barry.
in golf sometimes where like an old guy like Phil Mickelson just last year won a major and he's ancient at this point. Like he's old. I think he's in his 50s now. And that's not something that really happens in disc golf. Like we don't like it's never like a storyline where we're like, hey, notice this old timer is like in Barry Schultz like making a charge for a US title would be so cool.
Yeah.
That would be electrifying. I would be rooting so hard for him.
We watched him just tee off on hole 3 and he threw a gorgeous shot.
It's so nostalgic to watch him throw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For newer players,
I wish
they'd probably be
Klima
like
was still playing, man.
Yeah.
Dang it.
For newer players, they'd probably be like,
Come on, champ.
they'd probably be like, man, Barry's form is so weird. But for us, like, for like players who've been in the game a long time,
I love watching his putting off his like top of his
it'll
knee.
like he like rocks. Oh man, I might follow his card tomorrow.
Barry's
One of my
cool.
this
I've
is a
met him
little bit
before.
off topic, but it's about Barry. One of my favorite rounds of all time to watch. I watch it once a year, every year when my family goes on vacation in Charleston, South Carolina. There's the Charleston Classic, and it's played at a tournament at a course called Trophy Lakes, which is right outside of Charleston. Such a fun course. It plays around this lake that's meant for like skiing and stuff. Doesn't matter. But there's a round recorded from the Charleston Open, Classic Open, or whatever it is. And it's from like 2012 or 2014, like a long time ago. And it's Paul Macbeth, Barry Schultz, and 2 other guys. I don't remember who it is, but I watch it once a year. And every year, it's just like it's old Paul, and then it's Barry Schultz in his prime, and well,
Not prime.
Not his prime.
not prime.
Kind of
Yeah.
competitive career.
Exactly. But it's just like it's so much fun just to watch Barry throw all those shots.
Yeah. Hopefully, I mean, I'm sure on the live coverage today, they'll have some Barry shots in there because he's on the chase card. Hopefully, he can hang on for one more round, get himself on a lead card.
Mm-hmm.
Lead card on moving day at USDGC would just be something else.
I just want people to be able to watch it.
If he gets some momentum behind him,
That's what I'm saying. He needs to kind of
Like,
just believe.
that's
He
what I'm
needs to start
saying. If
believing.
I truly believe like he's won this tournament a few times now.
Yeah.
He's won World several times. It's one of those things where like you have to just kind of reawaken the beast. I feel like, you know what I mean?
The
That's
Barry.
in
what I'm
more than
saying.
one way,
If he
the 10-speed beast.
If people start getting behind him. Like,
But like I think it's the same thing that happened with Phil, right? Like once that
sure,
player
yeah.
believes, like they still have like obviously they have a killer mindset to get all the titles
Right.
they got.
He's got it.
sometimes,
in him.
yeah. Sometimes it just
Like
takes
when it just like takes a spark and like Kobe's final game when he dropped 60.
Yeah, well, he shot like 100 million times.
Well, that's Kobe.
True.
But like, there's just certain moments in sports where it's just like you just awaken something.
Yeah, no.
That like it's just that last little flame.
I mean,
I hope so much. I think I'm rooting harder for Barry than anyone else in this tournament. If I'm being fully honest with you.
I can't quite say that, but if he goes out there and shoots 7 under for 4 rounds, he might win with that. That might be darn close.
That's
to
true. If he can just hold it together.
So he's capable of it. We know this.
Maybe I need to become the Barry tracker.
I want to follow his card.
Barry,
because I think it'd be so. I want to know what he's throwing on these tees.
Casey rocks, baby.
I'll tell you what.
But like, what do you think he's doing? What do you think he's doing a hole 9? Is he going for it? No, he's laying up.
No.
9?
Yeah.
9. 9's the Montreal.
9. He's just throwing a little. He's probably
I'm
throwing
sorry.
a hyzer.
I meant 10.
Oh, 10 he's laying up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He 3'd it today.
That's what I'm saying. But I just would love to watch him. Let's see what his game plan is.
Man. And he forward 17 too. Like he could have shot 8. He could be on the lead card right now. Gosh, we gotta watch him tomorrow. It's Barry Schultz, Johnny McRae, Adam Hammes,
did he miss the
and Evan Scott. He must have.
Yeah.
And Evan Scott, which Evan Scott's what, like 16?
Evan Scott
15,
is the dude.
15?
He's
I
awesome.
heard 15 thrown out there.
He
today.
didn't have a par from hole 3 to hole 11 today.
That is called exciting.
He had
golf.
4 birdies. No, he had 7 birdies and 2 bogeys in that
The
stretch.
scorecards are just as colorful as we predicted.
Yeah.
I followed Evan Scott at Battle for Bedford because he was on Brody's card, and that kid made 45-footer, 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 just boom, 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 right in Brody's face, and it was awesome. It was so cool.
This is very interesting. I'm going to ask you this, Connor, because Trevor can see my screen.
Okay.
What would you say is the hardest hole on this course? Average 2 par based on the field today. Hardest hole.
17 is too obvious.
Okay.
I feel like you would not be asking me that if it was 17.
I'll tell you, 17 is within 0.01 of being the hardest hole, but it is not the hardest hole.
Hole. What's the hole where you're throwing from the Coliseum thing?
Either 14 or 12. 14 is the par 3. 12. So hole 12
I
is,
feel like that's just random enough to catch you off guard.
hole 12 is playing 0.13 over par. It is hole 18.
Oh, I understand that. Hole 18 is hard.
Hole 18 is playing as a 4.4.
Oh, that totally
so
makes sense.
tricky. I think 18 is so overlooked because of 17, but because 17 you're dealing with the pressure, right? That's what makes that difficult. But 18 is just like the tee shot's relatively simple, but that second shot is difficult.
Very
and
difficult.
oftentimes you're left with a really hard decision to make about running that putt.
Final question for you, Connor.
Okay.
What was the easiest hole?
Easiest hole.
Also, kind
On
of
this course.
interesting.
It can't be hole 3 because there's OB.
Yeah, that wouldn't make any sense.
I'm gonna say I saw a lot of people play really well in the triple Mando hole.
Hole 15.
No, other triple Mando.
Hole 7.
Hole 7.
Hole 7 is the second easiest hole.
Oh, so I'm close though.
At 0.24 under par.
What's
It's
the-
actually hole 3. At 0.4 under.
I just
It
thought
played as a
there
2.6.
being OB
That
there
surprises
meant that people
me.
were gonna throw OB.
That surprises me.
I love this course.
Yeah. So there you go. Looking at the weather for today, it looks like most of the rain as of right now is going to be
Not
coming
bad.
in the morning, mostly early morning before anyone's even going out on the course. So the ground might be a little wet, but by the time the lead card for the women's teeing off looks like it's only like 30% chance and, spotty showers. The wind, though, actually looks like it'll be kicked up more from 9 a.m. from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. and then kind of die down as the lead card plays. So that could be something that's interesting. But it looks like for most of the USDGC, the men's cards doesn't look like there's much chance of rain. So the lead card for FPO and some of the FPO field might have to deal with it. Some MPO doesn't look like they're going to have to deal with it too much. We might just be dealing with one of those weeks that it just looks awful.
And
The week out,
mild.
and then it just kind of pushes around. But fingers crossed that's the case. Be sure to tune in if you are able to the pay-per-view option. Watch it live, catch out all the action going down there. If you want to keep up with what Brody's doing shot by shot, check out Trevor's Trivia. Trevor's Twitter account at FDG_Trevor. It has been converted to the Brody tracker for this event. And I'll also be popping on our Instagram stories, giving whole update or giving like general score updates, storyline updates kind of throughout the day. And I'll also on my Twitter be tweeting anything I see that's interesting that happens, hot starts, all of that. So if you don't have a Twitter, you might want to download a Twitter just to stay in the loop with what all's going down. I also heard that Connor might have some fire puns he's tweeting out. So fire puns from Connor, you know, just keeping you up to date in the loop with the general tournament from me, Brody Tracker from Trevor. What more could you need? If you do need more, check out UDisc Live or the pay-per-view, and you're going to get all the United States Disc Golf Championship coverage you could ever dream of.
Heck yeah.
That just turned into an ASMR podcast. Hopefully you're enjoying these wrap-up or these preview round things. It's like midnight when we're recording this, so sorry if we were delirious, but we'll talk to you again tomorrow.